Hello, welcome to my workshop. I'm Chris Pine. I can't believe I did this. I was talking to the camera here just a minute ago for probably a good 45 seconds to a minute, and then I realized I didn't have the camera turned on, so I guess I got to practice in there. Time with Pine 2015, number 9. The Kitchen Utensil Challenge this last week. What a lot of fun that was. I sure did enjoy doing the project and watching everybody else what they came up with. Some really creative things, a lot of entertaining videos, and just some really great inspiration and good ideas out there. As for my project, the pastry board, many people had commented. They had never heard of such a thing, and I'll be honest with you, I never heard of such a thing either until many years ago I saw this project, in Wood Magazine. I think it was 2003. I looked it up and referenced that in the comments of the video, the project video. And I had never heard of it either, but when my wife saw it in the magazine back then, she said, I want one. And I don't know how I got away with not doing it this long, but I thought of that project when this challenge came up, and we went ahead and made it. As for the dowels in the board, I don't have the board out here with me, but you have to look at the video to see it. That was part of the idea from Wood, honestly, and they put those in. They used smaller dowels, but that's a long story in and of itself. Home Depot, for as long as I've been going there, whenever I've looked, they always had an assortment of hardwood dowels. Some of them light wood, some of them dark wood. I went there to get a dark wood hardwood dowel, and they didn't have any hardwood dowels. They had oak. That was about as close as you could get. I really didn't want to use that. It just didn't have the color I wanted. So, with some of you other YouTube woodworkers showing me this trick, I made a little dowel maker out of this piece of strap metal, drilled a hole in it, and then cut the wood square, approximately just a little larger than this hole, ran the dowel through in a drill through this piece of metal. It was pretty rough, but then you run sandpaper over it. And in this case, it didn't need to be really super clean because I'm putting that dowel into a hole anyway. As long as it filled the hole adequately, it was going to work. So that's what I did. I used cherry for that. Of course, the board was maple and the two end caps were made of cherry. What a lot of fun. It really turned out well. I was very pleased at how it looked. I think it just looked fabulous. You can't go wrong with maple, man. It's just beautiful wood, and cherry as well. They're two woods that go together very well. So I was happy with that. Thanks for all your kind comments. Thank to Nick Ferry and Patrick Curtis. You know, I never hardly ever call Patrick by his last name. Patrick's Workshop and Nick Ferry and his workshop there on YouTube for putting that on, heading that up. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate the effort there, and I sure did enjoy it. I would encourage you to participate when you become aware of those challenges. Another one that's coming up is Dominic Bender's challenge for March. It's all the whole month of March, and what he wants you to do is make something out of a piece of wood, basically, but out of a piece of a tree. He says either a branch, or it should start out in its tree form, and then you make something out of it. I rewatched that announcement, and he even says it doesn't have to have a live edge at the end of the project, but it should start out with some live edge at least in the beginning. So that sounds like a lot of fun. I would encourage you all to support him in that, and we'll see what we all come up with. It should be a lot of fun. I'll leave a link in the description below for that video as well. What else is happening? Life is busy as it always is. I'm sure you all can relate, and I am just looking forward to future projects. Some people have, one person at least suggested, I had mentioned when we did several months ago a scrap wood challenge in making, I think I have that box right here. Yeah, it's covered in dust. But I had shown during that scrap wood project video that I had made a box like this out of scrap wood, re-glued them up, and then made the box. And someone asked me when I was going to do that video. I appreciate you following up, and I will make a point to put that maybe further up on my to-do list. I do have it on my list, and we'll make that project soon. It's a very simple project, and I utilize the scrap wood. Makes it even better. What do y'all think about using woodworking plans? I love plans. I love Wood Magazine. I love Woodsmith Magazine. Honestly, it's rare that I will follow a plan even 80% probably, 100% rarely. One of the plans I did do was the shaker clock. If you remember, there's a video from more than a year ago. I made this clock that's on the cover of this book, and I followed that plan pretty close. It was Norm Abrams' New Yankee Workshop, the shaker wall clock. I do subscribe to those magazines I mentioned, and I actually have bought the back issues on digital, on CD-ROM or DVD, and I look at that stuff all the time. I get a lot of my inspiration, I should say, from those magazines and from other sources like that. So a lot of woodworkers are strictly, they just see something they want and they figure it out and make the plans themselves. I respect that huge. That's an immense talent there. I look at plans, I'll get a rough idea what they're doing. I don't always follow the measurements, I don't always follow their procedures. I just go about it the way that makes the most sense to me. Some future projects I will be doing. Well, I hate that when your computer, the screen comes on and locks it out while you're doing something like this. But I don't know if you've heard of Schlabach and Sons. Here's their catalog and Clocket. It's two of my sources for clock parts. And I just ordered some stuff from Schlabach and Sons. These are cool. These inserts, these clock inserts. Look at that. It's just the coolest face. It's got that kind of that, I forget what you would call that, but it's got that, that look to it. And then there's this one I really like. Couldn't get those style from Clocket, so I went with Schlabach and Sons. I got a couple really simple clocks that I want to make, and I'll be making videos of those. And you know, I have a lot of things coming up. I have some cabinets I need to make for my sewing area. I have a park bench that I want to restore. Those are just a couple things off the top of my head, and I'm looking forward to those projects as well. That's really about all I have today. This next week for the project, I encourage you to tune in. It's going to be interesting. Something I've never attempted before. I'm deviating from the typical woodworking stuff that I do, and we're going to do something a little different, not a woodworking project. I hope that goes over well, seeing most of my audience are woodworkers probably, or people interested in woodworking. But this is just something since I first saw this on the internet, I ordered. I'll give you a little hint. I ordered the kit, and I do that for this week's project. It is so freaking cool to me. I'm so excited about it. I've already done it, obviously, but the video will be coming out next Friday. I look forward to it. Thank you so much for watching Time with Pine and my project channel. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'd encourage you to do that. You won't miss any future episodes. Thank you again for your support and your continued friendship. God bless, and we'll see you next time.